All right, good morning, guys. This is academic for Tuesday, the 19th. So you can warm up. This is, please complete this warm up on your warm up page. I'm going to pause and play when we're ready to go over it. Problems. Looking at this, what is the equation for this first one? Ryan?
1/3 plus 1/4.
1/3 plus 1/4. Can I add those fractions as they are? No, we need common denominators. So with 1/3 plus 1/4, what is a common denominator that I can make?
12.
12. Okay, so I'm going to put in a 12 plus a 12. Okay, so to go from 3 to 12, I did
Times 4.
times 4. Up here, I did the same thing to give me
4.
4 12s. Are we good with that?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. On the other one, so from 4 to 12, I did times 3. So that's going to give me 3 12. So are we good with that? Now can I rock and roll?
Yes.
Ask them. The answer is 7 12. I add the numerator. Oh, sorry, denominator. Can I simplify? Thank you. Thank you. Remember, I'm recording. Can I simplify 7 12? No. Kennedy.
You cannot simplify 7 12 because 7 is.
Very good. 7 is prime, therefore I cannot divide it.
You can't,
All right, moving on to the next one. I'm going to do the one below it. You might have done it in a different order. That's totally fine. Natalia, can you tell me the equation for this one? Yep. Oh, check that. Minus 2 fourths. Do I need to change anything about this problem? No, I can just subtract. My answer should be 1/4. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Absolutely. Move on.
You say to always simplify, but can't you already simplify like off the bat by 1?
Yes, but if what do you mean?
Okay, you can already simplify it by dividing by the same number.
But that doesn't change it at all, so that's not simplifying.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, what is the equation that you see, Jack?
1/2 plus.
Okay, very good. Maria, what would be a common denominator with 2 and 3? Very good. 6. Okay, so I'm going to make it 6 plus 6. To go from 2 to 6, class, I do times 3, so that's going to give me, pause. 3, 6. Thank you. Don't get your head. To go from 3 to 6, we multiply by 2, so that's going to be 2 times 2, 2, 6, so that gives me 5, 6. Can I simplify?
No.
Are we feeling better about this?
Yes.
Okay. Talking about the homework for math, I'm going to pause it, just check it. I will say before I pause this, number 5 should have been 7/9. It did not take the answer. It wanted 6/9, which they simplified 1/3, but we'll fix it for next year. Any other questions? Like, is there one that I could? Yes, it's a crowd that's upside down. Okay, that's not an actual question. Yes. Can I help solve any of these? Like ones that we got stuck on? What number? Number 12. Okay, let's look at that one together. Again, maybe coming into tutorials would be helpful when you find that time. So what that is saying is 4 1/2 minus 3 5 6. Again, Miss Lionel likes to do her math up and down, so I'm going to rewrite it 4 1/2 minus 3 5 6. Can I subtract those fractions as they are? No. Yes, ma'am?
It's 4 and 1/4.
Oh, should it say 24 at Lionel's?
That's what it says.
Okay, got it. 24. Y'all good with that?
Yeah.
All right, common denominator with 6 and 24.
So times 4.
It's going to be 24. So I'm going to make these both 24 and 24. Very good. So that one's going to stay the same, but to change this one, I need to multiply by 4. So that's going to give me 20. I am subtracting these. Ooh, and we run into that issue. 1 minus 20. Can I do that? No. So we're going to use that thing that Juan sort of showed us yesterday. I need to regroup to make this 3. And then this is, I'm going to add that denominator. I really like that he said that. Add the denominator to this. So that would be a total of 25. Okay? 25 minus 20 is 5 over 24. Very good. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, so I have 5/24. So can I simplify that at all? No. Does that help clear up a little bit?
Yeah.
That regrouping, it's still, we gotta work it out. I know there's still some practice with denominators, getting that common denominator. Coming into tutorials would be a good time. Unfortunately, we do have to move on. Could I do one more for you? Which number would you like? Number 14. Okay, 2/3. What does that say? Plus?
Yeah.
4/15. Okay, very good. So I need to add them, but in order to add fractions, I need a common denominator. With 3 and 15, I always try and check to see if one of those, I can get it to one of those, and I can get them both to 15. Okay, this one's gonna stay the same, but how did I go from 3 to 15? Times 5. Okay, it's gonna help to know those multiplication facts. So whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top, and that's gonna give us 10. Okay, now we can add them as is. 10 plus 4 is 14 out of. Okay, yeah, it just, with practice, those multiplication facts are going to be very handy. All right, so today's notes, we are going to be talking about multiplying fractions. We are going to start with a Tim and Moby video. Woo! Yay! Okay, give me a second to pull it up. Thank you. 1 second, guys. Sorry, my volume's off. Let me restart this real quick, sorry.
Ew, how'd that get in there? Dear Tim and Moby, how do you multiply and divide fractions? From Joe. You're in luck, Joe. We're gonna have to multiply fractions to get through this brownie baking mess. Okay, we're baking for 40 people. Better not be as bad as it sounds. Well, 1 1/2 kilograms of brownie mix will make enough brownies for 10 people. So how many kilos of that mix will we need for 40? 40 tenths times 1 1/2. We can reduce that first part to make it easy. 40 divided by 10 is the same as 4/1. Let's get that 1 1/2 out of its mixed number form. 1 times 2 halves equals 2 halves, plus 1/2 is 3 halves. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators and denominators separately. 4 times 3 equals 12, and 1 times 2 equals 2. 12 halves is 6. So we need 6 kilograms of brownie mix. You need that in grams? Okay. Well, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So we can multiply 1,000 by 6 pretty easily to get 6,000 grams. But I just told you. Okay, fine. I'll show you how to do it by dividing fractions. We'll start with our original fraction, 12 divided by 2. Now, to figure out how many grams that is, you can divide by the fraction 1 kilogram over 1,000 grams.
Oh, we're going to stop this real quick. Sorry. We were supposed to just do multiplication. We'll do the rest of it Thursday, I think, is when we talk about dividing fractions. Okay? So, with multiplying fractions, that video is going to help us. We're going to keep it in the back of our mind, but we're going to do some problems together. Okay? We are going to model because, again, I think it helps initially understand how it all works and all that stuff. Yes? I don't teach that rule, but I teach the more math accurate. That is technically how you do it, but I teach it a different way. It's sort of the same, but I use different terminology. Okay? All right, so Mr. Johnson, we're going to start with some scenarios because, again, it helps us visualize. Mr. Johnson owns 4 acres. Sorry, 1 second. He owns 4 acres of land that he used to farm vegetables. 3/5 of his land is pumpkins. What part of Mr. Johnson's land is pumpkins? So I'm going to say real quick, I'm going to give y'all a quick minute. You'll need to have some like highlighters or colors. You'll need 2 colored pencils. So pause and go get those, please, and thank you. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with showing his 4 acres. Does he have a full 4 acres? Yes. So I'm going to color in all 4 of these boxes. I'm going to use my first highlighter. Please let it work for me today. Oh, it's not. Okay, it's going to take mind a second. You're gonna go ahead and shade in all four with one color of your highlighter. Ready, set, go. All four squares with your highlighters. I will not be able to do it with the highlighters. Don't do it with the highlighters because it takes forever to load it. There we go. All right. Okay, once I finish, you should be done as well. It does not have to be perfect. Try your best. All right, I see most of us done. Very good. So we have 4 acres of land. All of that has vegetables, but only 3/5 of his land is pumpkins. So I need to break his land into how many pieces? Into pieces of 5. So I'm going to do that like across. Okay, so if you want to watch me first, we're going to break that into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm splitting it into 5ths. So yours should be split into 5ths as well. Okay, you can try and fix it on the top. So do it on the top. Yes. So I split into 5ths, and now I'm going to color how many of those 5ths? Okay, let's try that one more time. I split it into 5ths, and now I'm going to color the amount that is pumpkin. So I'm going to color how many of those lines? 3 of those lines. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So this is pretty similar to our decimals. My answer is which part? Do you remember?
What do you mean?
It's the double shaded part. Y'all remember that? Okay, it's the overlapping piece. So that's going to be this section right here. But I need to count how many pieces that is. Each piece is a 5th, correct? Each side piece, and I need to count how many 5ths I have. So right here I have 1, 2, 3. Count with me.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I have 12 5ths. Okay, that's one way to write my answer. But what's another thing I could do? What could I do to 12 5ths? I could simplify it. 12 5ths is the same thing as what? Okay, we can figure out, remember yesterday we can do 12 divided by 5, and I can take 5 out how many times? 2 times, because that's going to take 10 away, and I'm left with 2. So that's the same thing as 2 and 2 5ths. 2 and 2 5ths. That's going to be my answer. Okay, yes ma'am.
So, you only have to divide it 1 time?
Yes, because normally this is where I would like add my decimals and go into my zeros, but I don't want to because I'm dealing with fractions. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay? If you can also just look at that and be like, oh, I can take 5 out of that twice. This is just a helpful setup for when numbers get like bigger and nastier and you can't do it in your head. Okay? So again, that's the model version. I'm also going to show you the math version because I know that we're not going to draw a model every single time because we all love it. So let me also show you the mathematical way. Okay? So I'm again finding 3/5 of his land. I'm finding 3/5 of 4 acres. If y'all remember a few weeks ago, Ms. Lytle said anytime you see the word of, that's going to be what operation? It's going to be multiplication. So I'm going to put that multiplication sign on of. Okay? Okay, but now I'm looking at that. 3/5 times 4. I have a fraction and then I have a whole number. Oh, that's weird. Okay, right? It's a little odd. Okay? How can I make them both into fractions? How can I make 4 into a fraction? Kennedy? Exactly right. Right here, I did 4 over 1. Because now I have a fraction times a fraction. I have similar numbers. Just like when I had decimals and fractions, I want them all to be the same. Same thing here. 4 is a whole number, and if I just put it over 1, that's a fraction. Okay? And now to multiply a fraction, we just multiply across. Okay? So 3 times 4 is, class, 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm going to multiply the denominator. 5 times 1 is, isn't that what I got over here? 12 over 5. Of course, I can simplify. I can take 5 out of 12 2 times, and I have 2 5ths left over. Okay, making that mixed number. All right. So, for any time I multiply a fraction by a whole number, what was the first thing I did before I even multiplied? What was the first thing I had to do? Put it over 1. So, when multiplying fractions and whole numbers, put the whole number over 1, put whole number over 1. Then multiply top by top and bottom by bottom. Does that make sense? Top by top and bottom by bottom. I don't want to write out numerator times numerator and denominator. That's two letters. Okay, top by top, bottom by bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, I'm always gonna simplify. Maybe yell a second. Pause and play if you need to. All right. The 2 2/5. So again, 12 over 5 is an improper fraction, meaning that the top number is bigger than the bottom. That means I have a lot of pieces, and I want to see how many holes I have. I have 2 holes because I can take 5 out of 12 twice. I can take 5, I can take 10, and that's going to leave me with 2 left over.
I also worked when I used it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, yes, sir?
How many times the denominator go into the numerator?
Correct.
And that's your whole.
Not right now. All right, well, let's move on. Miss Smith has 3 3/4 bags of chips left in the pantry. Her dog, oh no, her dog ate them and ate half of the chips. Oh boy. What fraction of all the chips did her dog eat? Oh my gosh. Bad dog. Bad dog. Take your fingers out. All right, so looking at this picture, I am starting with how much bags? 3 3/4. So am I going to color all of these? No, I'm going to color 3 full ones and then 3/4 of that last one. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that with your colors. 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to make this 3/4. So I'm going to split it. I'm going to split it. I'm going to split it. Okay? And then I'm going to color 3, 1, 2, 3/4. Again, pause and play if you need to. All right, so 3 3/4. Do we agree that is 3 3/4?
Yes.
We got some Cheetos, we got some Doritos, we got some Funyuns. This isn't my Funyuns time. This period, a little fun. Okay, and then some Takis. Okay, we already opened up the Takis. We ate some of that. Okay, but here comes my dog, my bad dog, and it's going to eat half of it. But before that, okay, do y'all see how this one's broken into fourths, but these aren't? Can I break these into fourths and it'll still be the same thing? Yes, and I'm going to do that. There's a reason why I'm going to go ahead and extend these lines over. Again, I just want all the pieces to look the same. Okay, now my dog is going to eat half of them. Because this is weird, I'm not going to split it this way. I'm going to split this half, and I'm going to say we eat half of that bag. Cut it in half, eating half of that bag, half of that bag, and then half of that bag. Okay? Again, this blue part is the part that the dog will have to eat. Okay, and again, my answer is going to be my double shaded part. Let's take a look. Okay, first let's figure out how big my pieces are. Each piece, I broke it in fourths sideways and then in half the other way. So that's actually going to be each piece is an 8. It's actually going to be 8 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces in one bag. Okay, so I have 8. So that's going to be my denominator. And then how many 8s did the dog eat? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not going to be this last one because that piece of the bag was already gone. So it's going to be 15, 18. Yes, ma'am.
Why are we doing this?
Again, because I only had 3 3/4 to begin with. Because this last bag I need to split into fourths because I didn't eat that whole bag. Okay, so I had already eaten like part of the bag. I had opened it and had a few to myself. And so I had to split that one into fourths, but I wanted to make them all look the same. Okay, that's still 4 wholes. Okay, I'm gonna do that one more time. Again, I'm sorry if the recording is good. It's fine. Okay, so again, I'm starting with 3, 1, 2, 3 whole bags, and then I'm gonna split this one into fourths. And then I'm gonna eat 1, 2, 3. That's 3 3/4. Again, but this one's split up. I'm gonna split these up. It's just stay 3 3/4 though. When I split these, that's still 3 whole bags and 3/4 of another one. But they all look the same now because all the same size pieces. Now again, the dog is coming to eat half of them, so it's gonna eat half of this bag. It's gonna eat half of this bag, half of this bag, and then half of this bag. So in doing that, I made my pieces 8 pieces per bag, and I ate 15 out of the 8. Yes. Just give me a second. Let's pump the brakes. So how many times can I take 8 out of 15?
2, 1.
I can take it out one time, and then I have 7 out of my 8 left over. Okay? You can also sort of visualize, oh, if I took this over, that would be half of the bag, and then I'd 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left over. 1 and 7, 8. Okay? Of course, we want to get into the math version. So I'm finding out 1/2 of the amount of chips. I'm figuring out 1/2 of 3 3/4. Okay? I'm finding out 1/2 of 3 3/4. Every time I see the word of, I think to multiply. Very good. Okay, but now in this situation, I have a fraction times a mixed number. Is there a way to turn that mixed number into just a fraction? Yes, it would use what? I would use the Texas thing. So 3 3/4. Let's do that Texas thing. Okay, so I do 4 times 3 classes. 12 plus 3 is 15. My denominator is 4. And that's, so that's going to be my next step. I'm going to rewrite it 1/2 times 15 fourths. Okay? Take a second. Heads up, please. All right, how do I multiply the fractions? Just multiply. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Really good. Okay, 1 times 15 is 15. 2 by 4 is 8. Is that the same thing I got up here?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, I just need to simplify. Again, I still can take 8 out once, and I have 7 8s. So again, 15 8s. What you can do, you can either think of it how many times I can take it out, or you can divide 15 divided by 8. Does 8 go into 1? No, but it goes into 15 one time. I subtract 8. I have 7 left over. Again, this is where I would normally add a decimal, but I'm not going to. So 1 and 7, 8. Okay? It's just practicing to get comfortable. Okay? Yes.
You said to always simplify it, but you always have to make it into mixed numbers.
Yes.
Have to simplify it.
Yes. All right. So when you have a mixed number, what do we do with that mixed number?
Well,
make it in proper fraction.
Make improper.
we simplify it again.
Make improper. And then multiply top times top, top by top, bottom by bottom. And simplify. All right, here we go. Oh, there's one more, right?
No.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's just do a little bit of practice. I'm going to do a couple more with you. I think these harder ones I'm going to do with you. And then, okay, 1/2 times 1/2. Actually, go ahead and do these harder problems. Ready, set, go. Do the ones with the hearts. Ready, set, go. Pause and play when you're ready. So let's do these together. When I multiply fractions, I do top times top, bottom times bottom. So let's do this. 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4. I cannot simplify this because there is no, like 1 is prime. I cannot break that down anymore. It's going to stay 1/4. Okay, 2. There's actually 2 ways that I can do number 2. Let's do it the way that we talked about it first. 5 times 3 is 15 over 7 times 5, which is 35. Can I simplify this one? Yes, because we talked about divisibility. What number are both of those divisible by? 5. Very good. I'm going to divide by 5 and divide by 5. Okay, that is equivalent to, that is the same thing as 15 divided by 5 is 3 over 35 divided by 5, which is 7. Now, what I want you to do, below this problem, rewrite it. 5/7 times 3/5. Please rewrite it. Please rewrite it. I'm going to show you all a way to simplify before you even multiply. Okay, there is a way to simplify before we even multiply across, so that my numbers are smaller to begin with. Okay, what this is called is cross simplify. Okay, cross simplify. And it's exactly what it sounds like. I'm going to look at cross sections. I'm going to look diagonally to see if I have common factors. So with 3 and 7, they don't have a common factor. Okay, but with 5 and 5, I can divide both of those by 5. Okay, so 5 divided by 5 is 1, and so is 5 divided by 5. Okay, I'm going to use those as my numbers instead. So now I'm going to do 1 times 3, which is 3, and 7 times 1, which is, and it gives me the same answer. But, again, I simplified before. I'm going to do another one with you. Okay, just give me a second. Copy that down, absorb it, yes. Again, I'm cross simplifying. I divided them both by 5. 5 and 5 are both multiples of 5. And I did it times 1. I'm going to do another problem just so you can see it one more time. Okay? Did y'all copy this down first?
Yes.
Okay. So, when I see number 2, give me a second. Yeah, number 2. I see a mixed number, so I need to change it first to improper. So take a second, pause if you need to. Don't shout it out. I want to figure out what 2 2/3 is the same thing as. 2 2/3 is equal. Take a second, do the Texas thing. 2 2/3, do you have the answer? Super fun. And Lucy, what did you get? I disagree. You forgot to add. You did the times, so you need to add. So what's that going to make it? 8. It's going to make it 8/3. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite that. 8/3 times 1/2. Now again, I'm going to try that cross simplifying thing again. I'm going to look diagonal. 3 and 1, is there a common factor?
No.
No, there isn't, because 1 is prime. What about 8 and 2? Take a second. Cameron, what are 8 and 2 both divisible by? Almost, you can divide them both by 2 to get 4. Okay, I'm going to divide them both by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's where he was getting that 4 from. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now let's multiply like that. Again, I'm using that new number. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay? It's improper because the top is bigger. How many times can I take 3 out? Once, and I have 1/3. Okay, again, if I did 8/3 times 1/2 and I didn't simplify, I would get 8/6. I can divide those both by 2 to get 4/3, and then hey, I'm doing the same thing I already did. Okay, this is just simplifying before. All right, y'all keep going, keep working, because I know I haven't given you enough time. I just want to go ahead and explain your homework. It's going to be that back page. Okay? Yes. Okay? Keep working though. I'm just doing that for the people at home. Okay? Thank you for watching. Check the keep on.